So True Bloodthirst sounds a little bit similar to another TV show, doesn't it? So True Bloodthirst, also known as Vampire Nation, is a low-budget action horror film about, well, you guessed it, vampires. So this is actually quite an interesting film because in some respects this film is laughably bad, but it is quite a fun film. So it actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the movie Daybreakers mixed with True Blood and Blade. And basically the story is here that they, just like True Blood, the Vampire Nation have revealed themselves and they are kind of living side by side with humans, and there's kind of a little bit of like racial prejudice almost, like, you know, I get a little bit like the sort of True Blood series, and the main sort of group of vampires are living in Bucharest basically, and it seems that there is this kind of outbreak of these kind of super vampires, like these sort of feral bat-like creatures, and it's down to this policeman who gathers up a kind of team of vampire hunters as well as a team of vampires. So they're all grouped all together to try and investigate what's going on, where these kind of this new strain of these kind of bat-like feral creatures have come from, and then they have a conspiracy really that kind of goes, you know, high up the chain, and you know, lots of action ensues. So that's the basic plot here. So what's the deal with this film then? Well, this film obviously wears its influences very much on its sleeve. So this film, let's look at the negatives first of all. So this is a really cheesy film. This is so cheesy. The fight choreography. The fight choreography is possibly some of the worst I have ever seen. It looks like they're kind of acting in slow-mo, but it's not slow-mo. It's terrible. There's some really bad sort of fight choreography here. The dialogue is beyond cheesy. Some of the lines these people come up with is incredible, that in this 2014 dialogue is getting written like this. It kind of reminds me if like a 15-year-old had a script made and they could have just all their kind of fanboy, what they wanted to see, what looked cool, a 15-year-old in the 90s or something, and this is basically what it would be kind of made. So it's just kind of, the dialogue is atrocious. The acting is obviously kind of B-level. You've got Andrew Potts here, who you may recognise as Connor Temple from the TV series Primeval, acting like a badass. It's like, no, sorry, can't buy that. But nevertheless, despite all of this, and also some severe logic problems where we have, for example, vampires going out in the sunlight, which with just a kind of sunglasses on and a kind of hood over them with a scarf, and that seems to work okay. Yet the second they sort of just, you know, one's not wearing a scarf, they just burst into flame, stuff like that. There's loads of kind of these little sort of plot holes, stuff like that. But despite all of that, I actually enjoyed this film for its cheesy goodness, because this film is quite a fun film. There's quite a lot of kind of interesting sort of colourful characters. There's references to Dracula here. The kind of the bat creatures, the actual physical makeup actually looks quite cool. They kind of use a mixture between sort of CGI and sort of makeup, and I have to say there are a few shots where the bat creatures look pretty damn good. When they're sort of flying around, it does look a little bit kind of cheesy and cheap CGI, but there are some shots where they're sort of standing up which do look quite good. The kind of the regular vampires, you know, all look sort of like pasty face, and some of them you can actually just see where the makeup sort of stops on their neck and things like that. But they kind of look suitably kind of like gothic-y and sort of creepy. And, you know, the kind of the locale here is also sort of quite good. It's obviously meant to be based in Romania, and I think that's probably where it was shot, to be quite honest. So this is a massively flawed film. So you're going to go into this film knowing this is going to be a shitty old B movie, but you're still going to have a fun time with it. And that's what I would say, you know, if you're looking for a film which is really, you can turn your brain off and you can just enjoy some cheesy action, then you may like this film, because it is kind of a fun film, and it does kind of rattle on at a fair old pace. And despite the action not being particularly well sort of filmed or well choreographed, it still is quite fun. And there's lots of gun battles and explosions and disposable characters who are obviously going to die from the get-go. So, you know, I still quite enjoyed it, but it has some major issues. It's by no means a quality film. So I'm actually going to give this film a 6 out of 10, because I did enjoy it. So Vampire Nation, or True Bloodthirst as it's known in some countries, 6 out of 10. What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.